I was standing inside the Colosseum, not outside looking at it, inside, down in the belly of it, and I just kept standing there, because that's where the gladiators waited before they went up. That's where they kept lions in cages, bears, elephants. All of it went underneath the arena floor, waiting to go up through trap doors. And 50,000 people sat in the seats above and cheered. For fun. I'm Vienna, like the city in Austria, not the sausage. And this is Wandering Vienna, where my mom and I share how we've traveled to 20 countries across 5 continents on school breaks and what it actually costs. And today, I'm going to be going over Rome, Naples, Pompeii, and the Amalfi Coast in Italy. And keep watching because at the end, I'm going to tell you something about Pompeii that I genuinely didn't know before I walked through it. The number of people who actually got out is not what you'd expect. So, the Colosseum. From the outside, it's just enormous. I knew that. But standing in front of it's still different than knowing it. And then you go inside and they take you into the hypogeum. That's what's actually called. The tunnels, chambers, the whole thing running under the arena floor. That's where they held the gladiators before fights. That's where the animals waited in cages. The arena floor isn't there anymore, and you can look up and see where it used to be. And I keep trying to imagine what it must have felt like to be down there. Knowing what was about to happen, I couldn't really get there. I kept trying, and I just couldn't. This was entertainment. That's all it was. And then we walked out and followed a banner down to a street because something smelled amazing. There was a whole Italian food festival called Coldiretti just happening, and nobody told us about it. It was just the smell and wandering in, tables everywhere, vendors, food I didn't have names for. We just kept walking and trying things, and my mom kept finding people to talk to, even though not all of us spoke the same language. 2,000-year-old ruins in the morning, fresh pasta and strangers sharing samples in the afternoon. That's Rome, both things in the same day. But that's not even the part most people will think about when they think of Rome. That's next. The Vatican is technically its own country, the tiniest country in the world, with a population of 750 people, and it's sitting right in the middle of Rome. St. Peter's Basilica is free. We got there early before the crowds and walked in. It's the biggest church in the world, and the size of it catches you off guard even when you know it's coming. And the Sistine Chapel is inside the Vatican museums. Michelangelo painted the whole ceiling, by hand, lying on scaffolding for 4 years. You stand there with your neck tilted all the way back, trying to take in what one person did to one ceiling. No photos are allowed right now because of restoration, and that kind of made it better. You have to actually look at it. No phones, just you and the experience. After the Vatican, we took the subway to a neighborhood called Trastevere. That's where Rome started feeling like a city instead of a tourist destination. Trastevere is across the river from all the main tourist spots. Narrow streets, laundry hanging between buildings, little restaurants with tables outside and actual locals eating at them. No line, no menus with pictures all over them. That's the version of Rome most people miss out because they're standing in line somewhere else. We found a spot and sat down and ate real good food. The kind where you just point at something because you don't know what it is and it shows up and it's great. And the Trevi Fountain, we went at 5 in the morning and it was still kind of busy. People trying to get the perfect picture. But with the fountain lit up and the whole piazza quiet, it was pretty. And that's the only way to see it. Here's what the whole Italy trip actually cost us. Rome, Naples, Pompeii, Salerno, the Amalfi Coast. For food and lodging, it was $66 a day per person for food and $49.89 a day per person for lodging. That equals $115.89 total per person per day. That's it. That's the number. People hear Italy and picture expensive, but my mom and I don't eat where the tourists eat. We wander into neighborhoods and find where the locals are actually sitting. and eat there. The food is better and the price is half. The getting there is a different conversation. That's what the Wander window is for. My mom checks flight prices to our top 10 countries every single week. 15 minutes, and when the price drops on a school break, that's the trip. That's how we got to Italy. That's how we got in everywhere. And from Rome, we took a train to Naples. And Naples is a completely different Italy than everything that came before it. Naples is loud. The driving is something. Scooters everywhere, cars squeezing through streets that look way too narrow. But the people were the nicest of anywhere we went in Italy. If you looked even a little lost, someone just stopped and helped you. And we got to go to the underground, the Naples Underground. It's a whole network of tunnels under the city, ancient aqueducts, World War II bomb shelters. You can go down through a trapdoor in the middle of the historic center and walk through tunnels that have been there since the Greeks. And the San Severo Chapel, which is easy to walk right past. Inside, there's a statue called the Veil to Christ. Marble, and the veil over his face looks like actual fabric. Not stone, fabric. I stood in front of it, and I was trying to figure out how someone did that with a chisel. Oh, and the pizza? Naples is the birthplace of pizza, the actual, real thing. And I'm not saying that casually. The pizza here looks different, smells different, and tastes like a completely different thing than what I've had at home. We had it a couple of times a day because every place was different from the last one. We'd walk past somewhere, see what a person at an outside table was eating, and just go in. That's how we found most of them. The people were so happy that we loved it. There's no way to explain it from here. You just have to go. From Naples, we went to Pompeii. And here's the thing I didn't know before I walked through it. So, Pompeii. Mount Vesuvius erupted in 79 AD. The city got buried under ash and pumice. And when most people think about Pompeii, they think about everyone dying. But most of the 20,000 people who lived there actually got out. The eruption lasted over 2 days. The first phase, just falling ash, lasted 18 hours. Most people had time to leave. The 1,150 bodies they found were a fraction of the population. And I didn't know that before I walked through it. And walking through it isn't like a museum. The city is over 160 acres. Actual streets, actual houses, bakeries with the stone grinding wheels right there. A gymnasium, an amphitheater. People were going about their day, and then the mountain went off. The cast of people who didn't make it, plaster poured into the voids, their bodies left in the ash. A person curled up, a dog, a family. I just couldn't stop looking. It's 2,000 years later, and it's still there. A city frozen in the middle of a normal day. And we got to walk through all of it on school break. Everything I'm sharing is from our trip. What we saw, what we paid, what it felt like. And things change. Your trip won't look exactly like ours, but that's kind of the point. Comment below if this just changed how you see things. And subscribe to Wandering Vienna if you haven't yet. Hit the like button. It tells the algorithm you liked this. I post content like this every single week, and I don't want you to miss what's coming. Share this with a friend who you think needs to hear this. I'm Vienna, this is Wandering Vienna, and make sure to come back because there's always more to explore.